And of course, realistically, you're out. You're done and dusted if you can't pull a result out of this one. So, you know, there's a lot riding on the line as well as that lower bracket run. So let's get into it. Into that ban phase on Coastline. Anything you're expecting to see here, Raven?
I mean, I feel like maybe some control around the aggression. There's one in particular, you know, Ying is a very impactful, aggressive operator for the attack. I feel like Valkyrie's got to be one of these defense bans as well. Just such a strong operator on Coastline, getting that outside info from the cameras. Maybe even like a Melusi ban might help as well if they do want to facilitate an aggressive attack, because those Banshees can be a real pain if you're trying to push aggressively up a certain stairwell or into sight.
There we go. Lion being taken off the board next. Starting to get a bit of a whiff as to what we're going to expect. And I'm sure it's going to be utter chaos. The defensive ban, surely we see something like a Valk. Maybe a bit, maybe a Legion? I don't know. I'm kind of throwing that out there. It was, of course, banned back on Villa against the Chiefs for Cyclops. And they've gone for the Maestro ban, Raven.
Yeah, look, Maestro, obviously strong operator. The older is still a very comfortable gun from a lot of sight players, as well as those Evil Eyes, getting that sight info, being bulletproof. You're going to have to be using some utility to clear that, whether it's frag grenades or some level of like a launcher from Ashe or Zofia. But look, the Valkyrie, an expected ban to round it out. Overall, it's been a pretty interesting little ban phase there. I feel like it does echo the point I was making. There's a lot of curb of aggression that's come out of this. I think in particular, this Ying, Lion, and Valkyrie mixture, it really does tone down a little bit of that aggression, but we're still going to see quite a bit. You know it.
Oh, there's no taming it, right? How do you tame the beast? Right now, Kali and Glaz have been stuck by Cyclops. Anaton, oh wow, that is such a spicy 6-pick as well. This is how we wanted to start, right? This is what we wanted to see. We're going to Kitchen and Service to kick us off.
This is what you love about Cyclops as well. They are always up there with some really, I hate using the word off-meta, but these are really off-meta lineups. They do it so often. They love to experiment around with their picks. And look, Anaton is a very proficient fragger for Cyclops, so seeing him on the Monty, it's a little bit scary. You know, if he whips out that pistol, he could do quite a bit of damage, but off stream, we did actually see, I saw a peek of the Cyclops Chiefs game yesterday. Anaton was actually playing quite a lot of Montaigne, and it was working out really effectively. So it's something that Cyclops have worked into their attacks to help with the roam clear and the intel gathering in particular. And look, it's working out for them. I think this is dangerous for Guts.
Thing that scared me as well is not only does he bring the Montaigne on attack, but also when you look at their defense, you know, Oregon and Villa both being played against the Chiefs yesterday. Anaton was playing a fair bit of Clash, so, you know, this is, it is concerning when a player is so comfortable on those shield operators, because it is seriously such a hard thing to deal with if you're not prepared for it. No doubt Guts are, of course. You don't really want to take that away from them. They'll be coming into this as prepared as you could be. That's a really nice cam, unfortunately caught out by what I assume to be the smoke there. So making a bit of contact here. Anaton will essentially just work as a live, indestructible drone. So that's going to be really frustrating for Guts to deal with.
Attackers have dropped the bomb diffuser.
It is, but they are starting to spread out really nicely here. And this player in blue could catch Anaton off guard if he's not careful.
Oh,
there it is, the pre-fire. Some great call-outs coming from the other team. But other teammates, sorry. And look, that's really big, because Anaton, he can't tank any of these smokes. If JJ places one perfectly, it's going to be over for Anaton in this round. So that light up from Yura, that's put Guts in a great position.
Wow. Just the spray through the wall. Unfortunately, Anaton, that is sure to come back and curse Cyclops. And like you said, just look how spread Guts are right now. JJ being the only player on site. Clearly on a site like Kitchen, you're not as stressed. But this is just making life so much more difficult. Sorry, I'll correct myself. This is Crazy Puppy on the other side of what is a mirrored placed lobby side. So once more, a minute 20 off the clock, and Cyclops haven't really achieved anything that we've seen. In fact, they've lost the first player. Oh, sharp.
Yeah, good little trade. And this is really important right now. This next 20 seconds of trying to obtain this vertical control is going to be really critical for Guts. If they don't get this to try and clear out the positions held in Kitchen, it's going to make it incredibly tricky to actually go for the plants. Black Ray almost caught off guard by the player at the bookcase. Lily's just going to play this very patiently. No, he's not. In fact, he's going to peek out to his demise. And this is a great position for Cyclops as they gain some control.
That's big, though. An eye for an eye. In fact, it's not an eye. Anitan just slightly blinded for a second there. Will be able to be picked back up. Now only 2 drones left with 1 still in the field from Aegator. Intel's going to be quite minimal. There are no smokes left. And the big thing right now, that C4 may just buy Guts enough time, but they're going to need to play for it. JJ just on the close line of Rax as Anitan starts to push him back a little bit further. That's a big kill from Crazy Papillon. This is just not doable. My word, Cyclops just stormed the site, and that's round 1 going to the attacking side.
Look, really well played from Cyclops in the end. With Anitan going down low, it really did slow down what they wanted to do with that roam clear. But once they regained some intel and confidence to really push through VIP and then be able to push towards Kitchen, look, it worked out really well for them. It was a strong comeback, honestly. It felt like Guts were in such a great position. Potentially some... they didn't really take into account the fact that Anitan had been taken low. Honestly, they may not have been aware. Europe probably had little idea how many bullets did hit Anitan. But he was just 1 smoke babe away from dying. It did eventually down him, but I think just that failed capitalizing that from Guts really cost them.
Okay, so the Glaz being the 6th pick or CAG here, and I mean, perfect site to do so, right? You can sit back in ruins and, well, you can ruin them. It's a simple little analogy to make, and from this, Cyclops may have a really decent chance at this round as well. Curious to see how Guts are going to adapt throughout this game. Obviously, Cyclops are definitely coming into this the heavy favorites, you'd have to say. I mean, you just look at the history between these 2 teams, and it's rich, right? We've got a lot of previous games to go off, and it just doesn't bode favorably for Guts. There's a lot of red next to their name, a lot of L's that have been dealt by this roster. So you don't want to undersell it or oversell it. It is most definitely in the hands of Cyclops. So they'll want to start out with that a very firm statement.
Yeah, and look, it's such a great point, and it's something that the desk talked about a bit as well, as that Cyclops have, for quite a while now, had this #1 in Japan position. And poor Guts, they've been one of the other teams trying to fight to overtake them. They've kind of taken on this bridesmaid kind of role, as have Fav Gaming. And oh my lord, that is a fantastic grenade from Suzu. Lily would have had no chance, no idea what happened to him. And that's a big pick.
Yeah, sorry to cut you off there, Raven. My word. And look how quickly Cyclops are dismantling of what is on site. And it's done as well. There's so much time for them to bait out utilities, so much time for them to play here. And it's surely just looking to punish anything. Guts, maybe misstep. And once more, they can take their time, Raven. They've still got 1:50 on the clock. Oh, my word.
Look, I love this from Cyclops. This is so effective. They can just bait out this utility. They've got so many smokes, and they can just backwards plant in this doorway. And Gatorada can cover him from the window, while the others are just getting a frag out, basically. 4 versus 1 now. It's, oh my lord, it's going to be so tough for JJ.
I mean, it's just not doable, surely. They may give him a free kill here or there. He's actually doing an incredible job of staying alive. But staying alive will do you nothing if you've got 4 players from CAG swarming you on every which direction. Not the hip fire, man. Oh, that feels bad. But, I mean, what a round, Raven. Yeah. What a round.
It was a pretty incredible round. Look, it started very strong. It was a perfect nade from Suzu right outside the Lamborghini doorway. And that was just, I really prefaced how the round was going to play out. But just to talk about the strategy from Cyclops, it was fantastic. Again, they just were able to bait out utility perfectly in hookah. Anderton could have easily gone for a backwards plant in that doorway. It looked like that's what they were thinking of doing. But what happened is we saw the smoke babes come out super early, C4s burned, and they had so much time left in the round to be able to work around that. And it forced Guts also to really focus on that hookah doorway. They were aware that Anderton was there as the Monty. It would have been a free plant. So they had to refocus. It was fantastic. It got all of Guts into one spot, and CYCLOPS just picked them to pieces.
What I'm really loving right now is the fact that Gatorada has been so versatile. First Kali, then Glaz, and now the Yana. It's all the four-letter operators, Raven. And I mean, if this trend continues, how on earth, if you're Guts, do you look forward to what will be Chalet that we head to after this map? It's very early days. I mean, I hate doing this kind of thing, but theory crafting, I mean, there's been no response whatsoever. You look at the damage that's been dealt from CYCLOPS already, and you would assume that they're just not going to be slowing down. I like Yura on this Legion right now. Obviously, being able to, I wouldn't say handily deal with Anaton, but it certainly will make his approach a lot more difficult.
Yeah, well, it's definitely an adaptation to deal with this Montaigne, because Anaton, he's just been wreaking havoc. He's been getting a lot of good info for CYCLOPS, and they haven't been able to kill him. That was so close in round one, but it just has been really tricky for them to get a clean opening on this Monty. And to circle back real quick, Manic, you were talking about the maps. It's actually the first time in the last 6 months at least that these guys have actually played each other on Coastline. And you referenced, they have played each other quite a lot. We have a lot of results, even just in the last 6 months. But this was CYCLOPS' pick. You would expect them to probably come out of the gate swinging on this map. So I think it's just about Guts getting into the game, finding some form, weathering the storm. And look, maybe they'll be able to turn the tide on the map. But I think once it goes to Chalet, they can start to get some more comfort.
These nades are being cooked to perfection from Suzu. You just saw that one come over the shoulder of Anaton to the back of Kitchen, and had there been a player sitting there, like the Smoke, for example, that we generally see in that position, would have been see you later. And right now, I mean, once more, just CYCLOPS are starting to take that top floor control as well. I really like the use of the Gemini there to allow Ash just to continue to push into Hall of Fame. And it's about winning your ones though, and Light done a great job of it in this opening round.
Yeah, look, that's really important for Guts. They haven't been doing too great with the openings, and in particular, Black Ray just tore them apart in that last round. But here we are, Crazy Papillon. He steps up for a nice little two-piece, and that is going to put them in a really solid advantage right now. But Adich is planting, Manic.
Yeah, there's no stopping this right now. That will be able to be stuck, and he, oh my word, don't know how little time was left on that. Saved by the bell, you could almost say. Gatorada now looking for a 1 versus 4. 45 seconds left. I mean, this may sound absurd, but it's not out of the realms of possibility. It's just highly unlikely. And I mean, at the moment, only 2 drones to go off, 2 pieces of intel that CYCLOPS can really afford to handily pass back into Gatorada's favor. That's not really achievable, Raven. So really nice bounce back from Guts here.
It is, and look, just to Guts' credit right now, is they're just giving so much space for Gatorada to walk in and fail. Instead of trying to peek him or do anything dramatic, they're just sitting back, holding some crossfires, waiting for him to walk into the trap. That he did, through the kitchen door, closed her out. It's a really good round from Guts. A strong start to the round was so critical for that. They stood their ground in Penthouse and Theater. That was what was so super important, because it made CYCLOPS try to flurry to bring that back, and it just didn't happen.
And you take your wins when you can, or where you can, I guess. So we go back to Hookah on the reattempt, and really looking for, that's another change from Gatorada. Swapping onto the Maverick instead of the Glaz this time. My word, 4 different operators and still being able to be impactful. I'm really liking the use of the Monty here. It's just, it causes such early round hesitation from the defense, because you realistically, there are portions of the map that you just have to give up when a Monty's there. And a map like Coastline, you know, it's a game of give and take, which is, I think, why they did such an incredible job in that previous round of being able to hold Penthouse, you know. The Monty not really being able to put pressure in 2 places at once certainly leans into a spread out attack. So wait and see how they aim to achieve this. But last round it was, I mean, maybe not flawless in the kill count, but it was a flawless round, all things considered.
Yeah, I think just in terms of the way they executed it, you could say it was flawless, totally. Certainly not on the scoreboard, but at the end of the day, it was a great bounce back from Guts. And this Monty, as you said, Manic, it has been creating some difficulties for Guts. And something else that I've noticed that I just think works so well with this Monty pick that CYCLOPS is sticking is it forces, in particular, JJ to have to focus where the Monty is, because the smoke grenades are their best counter. Yeah, Lily can rotate with goo mines as well, but that's 1 to 2 players that have got to focus onto that. And now JJ's just been totally destroyed by Gatorada, and this is an early execute coming out from CYCLOPS. They're just on site, Manic.
Yeah, not only are they on site, they're everywhere. They're like ants swarming over a hive. They've been able to take control of Cool Vibes. They've had Billiards control. This is an absolute bloodbath. Anaton just manages to survive on the back of a C4. But what on earth can Guts do now? The Monty can just sit in doorways, deny them access. It is Lily with a really nice response on the Gatorada. And just like that, Anaton will force them into the open hands of a Gator. And this is an absolute onslaught once more. Man, Black Ray, don't give them that chance.
Yeah, look, I think that was just such a great example of a couple of things. I mean, one was just the power of Anaton again on that Montaigne, but also just the beautiful adaptability that CYCLOPS have. They droned out site. They saw that Guts had dedicated so much to off-site. We saw 2 players over on the VIP penthouse side and a player below, maybe even it was 2 players below, I can't quite remember, but before we could even check it out or realize CYCLOPS had made the call, pulled the trigger, they were on site. As you said, they were everywhere. They had gone through hookah, Billiards, they were at the drinks bar. There was just no possible way for Guts to retake that. It just came down to nailing the C4, which was a missed opportunity. Addison got the plant down. It was GG on the round.
Defenders, protect your bombs
well,
from being defused by attackers.
It is really... This may well be the quickest start to a match I've ever seen, Raven. I feel like all of these rounds have pretty much been done and dusted by the minute mark, so... never mind the prep phase, never mind the action phase. They only need 2 minutes to get it done, and... They are going to be re-attempting hookah. Much to the dismay of themselves, I would dare say, because, I mean, where else do you take CYCLOPS at the moment? They just seem to be picking your defenses apart.
10 seconds
And
to go.
the round that they did win, I think, you know, it does need to be highlighted. You did a good job of it, Raven, is it was on the back of just a really great opening from Light and then a double down from Crazy Puppy on holding Pen. So, yeah... It's so hard to consistently rely on that kind of play style.
Yeah, on top of that, the sites just do really differ a lot on Coastline. Hookah and Billiards in particular, there's a lot of external play that happens here, and now we have seen that great opening. That's Susie off the board, who we've seen playing pretty effectively. There's a good job from Yura, so maybe they can capitalize on this. But it does look like they have still gone pretty far aside. It looks like there was about 2 players on site, but CYCLOPS have changed their approach. They're actually going a lot more direct.
Oh, man. No matter what you throw at CYCLOPS right now, they just seem to have an answer for this. Instead of pushing on the hookah balcony, they're now putting pressure underneath in Sunrise to ensure they can get that vertical control. Guts are somewhat spread out right now. And once Gatorada's in position and has the safety of Anaton ensuring that no one can really push into Sunrise, this is just going to be an onslaught on site as Black Ray just continues to double down with these kills. Guts are just being picked to pieces.
They are, and look, that's it's going to make Hookah pretty open. Crazy Papillon is boxed in this corner. They're going to know this info from the Monty. Could be easily capitalized, and of course, Crazy Papillon, what else can he do? He has to push out. This is going to be very hard to counter because now that CYCLOPS have the control in Sunrise, it's just a matter of time before this plant could be confirmed.
2 C4s, they're going to have to hope for a Hail Mary and hope it doesn't get shot, or they don't get shot in the process, because of course you do have to, unless you're underneath, you have to overextend here to try and find it. Gatorado just with the perfect line to be able to hold. This is so uncomfortable for Guts. They've also got intel on the player in kitchen. I mean, it doesn't get much better than this.
Oh, look, it's really going to be tough here, and Gator is going to catch off that Mozzie as all the other Guts players fall to pieces, and Crazy Papillon, he's just got no chance, Manic. Cyclops swarm his position, and they are swarming towards a victory on this coastline.
Yes, that's my answer to you. Yes, this is outrageously clean from Cyclops. Outrageously clinical on their attack in diffusing what is any utility on site, anything that Cyclops have tried to do. We saw them try to anchor down and bunker on site in the first round. They handily dealt with the utility that was there. We then saw them try to roam. They dealt with the roam. They went straight to site, put pressure. This is an onslaught. And Guts, they need to stop the bleeding. They cannot allow a 5-1 first half. It would be absolutely devastating.
Oh, yeah, it would be incredibly tough to come back from. And I think at this stage, you know, last round of the defense half, if Guts can make this 4-2, it's not terrible. It's still comebackable. But if I were them, like, I would have just gone hell for leather, trap operators, just anything that counts as this Monty. Because if they can take out Aniton early, I mean, it's only one part of the problem, but it's a big part. You know, the info that he's getting and just the presence that Montaigne has is incredible. So maybe even, you know, and Ella, the Grismot's concussions, so he can't push through certain doorways. It needs to be cleared first. The goo mines are great. And the Banshee as well. It's only going to slow him down, though, as opposed to actually get that shield out of the way. But I just think that's the biggest issue, is they just have seriously failed to counter this Montaigne.
What about a clash? Bring the clash.
Yeah, get the shield up in the face of the shield. Totally.
Yep. Yeah, I'd love to see it. I'm really disappointed, in fact, that Guts haven't brought it. I was waiting for the pick the entire half, but unfortunately we haven't seen it. That's a nice little drone hunt there from Light. A little bit of intel that Cyclops will not have on hand. Now, we can't go past talking about the impact that Black Ray has had on a lot of these entries. Just been looking so sharp, and we can sing the praises of Aniton and the entire Cyclops teams, but at the end of the day, they're doing God's work. And I mean, Suzu on those nades, we can talk about that very quickly, because that has just been another level.
Yeah, look, he has been fantastic with grenades. Bit of a blunder there, though. They haven't quite cleared the ADS. They're trying to get this Banshee out of the way so that Aniton can push in. He's just going to go through it anyway. And this is the thing. Those smoke babes have missed the mark. And AAK just comes from behind to clean up. Oh, my lord. Cyclops are they're just a bit unstoppable at the moment, Matic.
They certainly are. He's got control. They've also got the crossfire from Gatorada. So as long as Gator just stays injured, I don't really know if there's any way that Cyclops can get back into this. The crossfire is absolutely gorgeous. Line them up like ducks, one after another. Crazy Papillon left scrambling to find something. At the very least, gets the kill onto Aniton. Merely a consolation prize at the end of it. And a 5-1 first half. It is so loud.
Honestly, it's just it's incredible how Cyclops have shown up and what they're getting away with right now. It's just they're playing very clean, and look, I'm a bit scared for Guts. I know this was not their map pick, and look, maybe it's just this is the thing about a BO3. You only get one ban before the picks happen. So if you're Guts, and let's say maybe they've got 2 maps that they're super weak in, you've got 7 maps in the pool, you can only ban one of those first. Maybe it's just about the lesser of evils. Maybe they knew that Coastline was going to be very rough for them, but they just have to get through it. Sometimes that's just what a BO3 is about. Sometimes you do have to weather the storm in these initial maps. Just win your own pick and go to the decider. But regardless, just the clinicalness that Cyclops are being able to execute these attacks with, it's very scary.
The safety that Monty brought as well was just it's second to none, and I'm really liking this lineup from Cyclops right now. You know, they've got the Malusi and the Legion that are going to slow down the progress towards site, give firm intel in terms of audio cues, and how did that just happen? Did he just, I mean, all he did was jump off the
10
top of
seconds
the...
left before insertion.
Yeah,
What?
this is look, it's something we've seen happen before on Coastline.
No.
Poor Black Ray. Yeah, look, that's unfortunate.
And that is very unfortunate. We'll get confirmation on what the approach is from the admins in just a hot second. I mean, you know, talking about the operator selection phase for Cyclops, really enjoying the intel denial that they've got with the mute Mozzie combo as well as the vigil. And Cyclops being Cyclops, you know that there's absolutely no chance they're going to be able to hold them down. You know, they're just so elusive. And we are going to come back for that rehost, of course, as the wonderful observer has shown. So hello and welcome back into the show. You're going to turn into a bit of a podcast now on how good Cyclops are, because honestly, there just wasn't enough in that first half for us to talk about Guts Gaming, Raven. And it's really hard to say that because Guts they are not a pushover. You know, they are a decent team from APAC North, and unfortunately, they've just been given no room to move on Coastline in map 1 of this best of 3.
Yeah, look, they're just getting absolutely dismantled. I'm just quickly peeking at some map stats for Coastline, just for Cyclops. Look, they haven't actually played it a whole lot themselves, and most of the results have been pretty close. The only one that's actually been significant was a 7-3 over Fav, and that was recent. That was the 19th of March in APAC North. Outside of that, though, 2 overtime wins and an 0-7 loss to Fnatic. It was last stage, though, in APAC North, way back in September. Doesn't quite count for as much, but at the end of the day, just the way they've shown up today, I think is the scariest part, is that they are executing really well. It's not even just that they look strong on the map, they're just looking strong as a team.
Yeah, it certainly makes you scratch your head and wonder how on earth they were taken down in the upper bracket in that best of 1. You know, games can be games, and you know, you can just have a shocker or maybe come into it ill-prepared against a team that, let's be completely honest, they wouldn't have been totally ready for in Kira. I think that was a phenomenal effort from the South Asian roster, but you know, this is the different beast that we've been talking about, and it's good to see them come alive in playoffs. My biggest issue right now is, you know, this is the playoffs run of the lower bracket. They have to, as we do say, they have to run the gauntlet. There is no second chances, and then most likely, you know, I mean, look, whoever you deal with next, you've either got 7th Heaven or Kira. I think most people would probably consider 7th Heaven to be coming in, and they're a dangerous team. They are a seriously dangerous team. And then after that, you have to go up against either Fnatic or Knights. It's just, you know, it's not the cleanest of... Yeah, it's a tough ask. It's not the cleanest of storylines. But the beautiful thing for Cyclops is they are rewriting their own script here, and they are looking just so damn sharp.
They are. Look, they're looking really good so far today. You talked about that BO1 yesterday that they lost. I mean, we didn't get to see it on stream, unfortunately, but there could be many reasons that happened. They could have been just incredibly surprised by Kira. It was on Chalet. Now, we will get to see them replay that in the next map. But at the end of the day, it could just be a simple fact that they didn't come into it warm enough. That can happen sometimes. If you've got a big day ahead of you, you get ready for it, teams prep, but sometimes you just have this rough start. It was a 7-8 loss. It was super close, but unfortunately, that's just what it's like with BO1s. If you're not on and firing straight away, before you know it, you could lose it. And it means that Cyclops, they're locked out of that 3rd place potential, which could mean a big deal towards the end of the season.
Yep, seriously could. And I'm sure it will. I am absolutely sure of it. We are back, so hope that wasn't too jarring for everyone looking and listening to us for all of... Geez, that actually felt like a really quick rehost, in all fairness. I mean, that was a very quick one. I saw the boys get stitched up yesterday with a bit of a longer one, so I'm grateful that we've come out of that relatively unscathed. Now, to the point of what we were talking about before, I do foresee this just being a very dangerous lineup from Cyclops. It's going to facilitate so much aggression if they please to. And if Guts aren't careful, they may end up wasting too much time trying to clear them out, then they will be focusing on site. That the lack of Monty is blaringly obvious.
Yeah,
Not that
legit.
it's you know, like it just feels like right now you can't see around on Coastline in this matchup without seeing it. So
Attackers objective.
really curious to see how Guts Gaming deal with this.
Well, aggression is still going to be on the side of Cyclops. Anderton is basically spawn peeking this front door here, but here's the drone and decides to get away, and that's probably a good call because Guts were really 3 players looming around that doorway. Pretty easy position to pre-fire, but look, I think what Guts really need to do here is they need to step up and have to emulate maybe a level of that confidence or aggression we saw from Cyclops. They need to try and get Cyclops put back in their place a bit, you know, get them on the back foot, because I feel like right now Cyclops really feel like they can get away with almost anything.
Yep. Nice timing from Anaton here. That's such a nice impact. He's actually heard that goon line as well, so he'll get that intel. But Light had jumped back out the window. And I mean, right now, Cyclops are doing, once again, a really good job of keeping Guts' attention away from where it should be. JJ, talk about an unfortunate trade there. It is a 1-for-1. They do take down Black Ray, who has been incredibly sharp so far.
Yeah, look, it's a good pick, but it's really unfortunate they got the TK trade, because it would have been giving them a solid advantage. Now, that was a pretty decent little clear of this room that was happening downstairs, but they have used already half the round.
Yeah.
And it could come back to bite them, but it is hookah, so now the fact that they can guard below and ensure there's not C4s coming, they can start to work these site positions and maybe shape up for a plan to around that hookah site.
Slowly but surely, putting the feelers out. Just double checking to make sure. They are starting to look like they've got a bit more of an idea as to what they're trying to do here. Cool Vibes being pressed. And whoever that is at the top looking for that peak, absolutely dismantled. And Guts, well, they're in the best position they've been since, goodness me, round 3.
That's it. Suzu, he's going to get a little aggressive. Him and Gatorado need to back up for a 2v4.
Oh,
he takes down Crazy Papillon, though. That's diffuser drop. Still 30 seconds. Guts, plenty of time to recover.
I've never seen them lose this. Gatorado making sure that Suzu has an opportunity. 1 versus 2. No intel on site. JJ swings wide with the SMG-11. Confirms the kill. And a much-needed round and a much-needed response from Guts Gaming.
I'm sure there's some viewers as well probably thinking, oh, it's Coastline. It's just going to be super attacker-sided. Yeah, the Guts can probably bring this back. You know, in APAC North, actually, it's a 62% win rate for defense. So we've seen a pretty dramatic shift since we have had the meta change in this season, or for this stage in particular. So this is pretty against the grain for what we've seen during the regular season. So I don't think that's the case. But something we highlighted earlier, Rob, was that the bans really probably do favor the defense because they equalize things pretty well in terms of the defender aggression, at least. So sorry, it does favor attacker. But it does equalize that aggression with the Valkyrie ban. That is, I feel like on Coastline, it's just the most significant ban you can make because when Valkyrie's left up, the defense can just run riot.
And there's something to say that had Maestro been left up, you know, it would have been much harder to facilitate the Monty pick time in and time again. I mean, you know, that is a far stretch. I do realize that, but you know, bans being bans, it really has left the defense a little bit more, or just a little bit more lacking overall. And the thing is, though, coming into this, we know Guts ban Valk, like literally in every single map. I can't remember many that we've seen it slip through on their ban phase. So definitely not a team that would even tempt fate with that kind of a pick. And right now, we are most definitely asking what they've got on their attacking side, and maybe more so even what have Cyclops got on their defensive side? It may even just be the case of, you know, is it going to be as clean as what we saw they're attacking?
I think that's just I think it's a good point. Also something that is a bit scary for Guts is the fact that it was a 5-1. So even if Cyclops are really struggling with these defenses, only one round is going to at least ensure it's overtime, so that they may be able to rotate back to attack. But on top of that, I feel like it wouldn't be that hard to fall into just 2 defense wins and close the game out. So Guts have to be very on point and near perfect, and Light is trying to do that. He has got this opening pick, and it's Addison off the board, who has obviously had a very significant impact on that Montaigne, but yet to have a bigger impact on defense.
Yep. Well, so far not going to have any impact whatsoever. And right now, Guts certainly favoured in this bout. Oh, Yura fortunate enough to be left standing. As Lily inches just closer and closer. Ayagator just on the other side with the shotgun. It'll absolutely mince them if they come around the corner. But it's a bit of a stalemate right now. Light might be the player to put the pressure on.
Cyclops trying to be elusive, and Guts trying to just catch them, but not quite with the timing, because that's Susie, cheeky. Trying to get that little run out, but Lily, the patience that he has had in luggage, he has been standing here for a good 45 seconds. He's making it tough for Ayagator, but Ayagator is just so keen to get something out of this.
Might actually be given an opportunity here. Lily downing what is the mute player, who unfortunately can't be given any kind of success here. Gatorada cannot find anything. And Black Ray, this could be absolutely massive if he's able to pull it off. But you just, in all honesty, Guts are looking so damn hot right now. It is a kitchen defense, but Light swings, opens the round and closes it. And just like that, I would say, Raven, that Guts are slowly but surely edging their way back into this game.
Oh, absolutely. They're doing a great job with these attacks. They're being really, really effective in getting the upper hand early and being able to maintain that. That's what's really important. So, look, this is tough for Cyclops, and they're going to go something a little bit strange. Penthouse Theater, we really don't see it played that much on Coastline these days. So, maybe this will catch Guts off guard.
I love the inflection in the voice there. Maybe. It
Maybe.
might catch them. There's a chance. So we have, out of 21 rounds played in APAC North, we've only seen it defended once. Now, that was successful. So, you know, maybe there's something to this. Maybe there's something to a bit of a curveball coming the way of Guts. The way that they've been attacking really highlights, I think, what they've been able to achieve. And just like that, and it's on. In comes the clash. We highlighted it against their match against the Chiefs, and now it's coming to full fruition. They've also got the mirror on Suzu, so this is going to be a really uncomfortable time for Guts Gaming.
Speaking of uncomfortable,
yes,
seeing that mirror be placed from the hallway side makes me feel uncomfortable, Manic. I can't imagine trying to play around this. Look, I can understand how it's going to happen. You're seeing info denial here from this mute. So it's not going to be easily drones. They'll probably have a player playing aggressive around the white stairs or luggage, as well as, of course, VIP, and the 90 hallway is always hard to take as it is. But, I don't know, that's a bit scary and sketchy. I'm not surprised at all that Cyclops are attempting it, and this clash as well. I just think this is something that's just beautiful about Cyclops' playstyle, is they will play around with some of these operator lineups, and they will try some really cool little curveball strats.
Yep, they certainly will. Ever so elusive Black Ray, still yet to get into the second half, but you know the second he does, there will be a huge impact. So he can't sleep on the defense of Cyclops right now, but Guts, we do need to give credit where credit is due now. Very quick little weather update for you. The report is over on Oregon that 7th Heaven have won 7-1 against Kira, sorry. So that is the first map in their hands, and, well, maybe we will be seeing 7th Heaven up against potentially CYCLOPS at this point. But honestly, I really can't read into that too much. We'll wait and see and give you updates as we find out. So appreciate the patience.
Yep, we will keep an eye on that one for sure. But keeping an eye on this one, Guts are making a pretty solid comeback opportunity right here. And Gatorada, he has been droned out. He's finally seen the drone. He's going to move on, but a really nice pinch is happening on his position right now. There's a player on Cool Vibe stairs that could pinch him. Oh, a little bit aggressive from Gatorada, and Euro does win that one. So again, Guts just coming out super strong at these opening phases. It has taken them all of about 2 minutes, Manic, but it's a good pick.
The thing is with that, you know, if Gatorada wins it, he's isolated another 1v1 in Aquarium. So there's absolutely no telling whether it's the incorrect decision or not. But they've really liked this. They're still going to utilize that mirror window as they are going to play the clash on 90, ensuring that there's absolutely no chance they can push up without their knowing. Suzu as well, playing from the top of white. They have a lot of control. This is getting really awkward, Raven. Oh, that's big.
Oof. That is big, and speaking of awkward, you're right, CYCLOPS are just not able to fight back. The clash not really working out that well, at least not for JJ. And Addington, he's trying to fight this back for CYCLOPS. It's on to him and Suzu, but only 20 seconds, Rob. This is going to be a really tough little finish for CYCLOPS to hold on here.
Yeah, it certainly will be. C4 in the hands of Suzu, so they could deny the plan, but they're going to need to require Anatun to go quite big. But that may have actually given the opportunity to C4. Drops crazy Papillon. Light picks up the diffuser, moves in behind the bed, and now Light, Lily rather, how good is that hold? You're going to need to play this off the back of each other. As long as Light can stay alive here, there's a chance. They need to ensure that Anitun can't get into position. They've left Suzu completely open here, and now in comes the play. All guns out and firing. Lily goes down, and now it's about to trade. Light steps up massively, and that is a huge round for them to walk away with. Guts will be saying a huge thank you to Light in a 1v2 clutch.
That was, look, huge from Light in many ways. I mean, the man played the round beautifully. He had the last second save of the diffuser. It was a great C4 that we saw come out from CYCLOPS. To pick it up and rotate over to the bed, it was very scary. He got that plant down with only a second left on the clock, very close to timing out for Guts. And then to pull out that 1v2, honestly, Matic, once I saw Addington get the double window player, I was like, this is it. Light is in a tough predicament. But a great little double from him to win it.
Yeah, it was a massive decision for Anitun to even try to attempt that kill. I mean, like, you have to at that point. It was really well played from Lily and from Light just to continue to bait each other out, hold that crossfire, because it could be really awkward to try and play around that clash shield. And right now, this is a CYCLOPS timeout, whether you guess it or not. And I mean, dare I say they're shaking their boots right now. Guts are demanding this second half. And I mean, at this point, I'm not even questioning the fact that we could just see outright Guts start to run away with this.
It feels like that is where we're trending, Manic, but I feel like it just takes one small adaptation from CYCLOPS that could shift one round. And as we've said, you know, this is the scary thing about the fact that CYCLOPS managed to get 5 of their attacks, is it means only one successful defense is going to ensure overtime where they will get to attack again. Gets a bit scary, but I just feel like it's just a matter of time where CYCLOPS can get one of these, even 2. I mean, that last one was very close. It's just about these opening phases.
Yeah, it really feels like for whatever reason, the CYCLOPS have started lacking in that front. You know, Black Ray currently on the donut since we've come back from the rehost in the second half. Just no impact whatsoever. In terms of the frag department, I mean, you can't take away that Black Ray really wasted 2 minutes of Guts there. But at the end of the day, Guts still had enough time to come back to site, plant, and also win a 1v2 clutch. So right now, I really am looking to Black Ray maybe to be the difference maker for Cyclops. If he can stay alive a little bit longer, if he can win his ones, I do think that it's going to put Cyclops in a much better position.
I think overall it just points to we need to see some more, you know, well-roundedness from Cyclops' defense. It's just not something we're seeing, and Guts are playing really well as a team, so it means they are able to pick this to pieces. Some solo deaths could be the vein of Cyclops, but at the end of the day, there's another opportunity right here. I've managed to survive this little opening 40 seconds, and APAC is just getting as much info as possible in towards Penthouse, which is where the main vertical control is, and to help Gatorada and Anaton, they are trying to combine to make this room successful.
Well, and the trend that we've seen Guts continue in, don't really know how long they're going to keep it successful. And now with the intel they're playing off, they've been able to push Aquarium. APAC, though, will be able to pass on all of that intel. Really liking this flank, but it's going to come down to timing. Lily doesn't need to win out the one. Anaton gets lit up. A small trade of damage back, but Guts a start. Oh my goodness. That is a peak that you do not want going that way.
Look, this is a big opportunity for Cyclops right now, I'd say. They've got this man advantage. They've taken off Lily. That Dockerby was going to be an absolute pain for them to deal with. And Black Ray, he stood up, Manic. He heard you talking about him. Cyclops have put themselves in a good position right now to potentially get that very crucial defense round we've been talking about.
Light has been one of the biggest, if not the biggest player for Guts in this game so far. Has given them the opportunity. Yura still yet to really have the impact that we've seen in the regular season. And now is the best opportunity to do so. Still 50 seconds though, Raven. It is on that knife's edge, my friend.
It is. And look, they're in. Oh, they've just crept into kitchen here. It's JJ on the Nook. Cyclops potentially unaware. Suzu's going to get caught on the swing. Guts may have just swung this round back in their favor, Manic.
Certainly have, and now they've just got to hit it home. APAC are now going to be trying to play for that vertical position. The thing is, he can get a lot of intel right now. He just needs to be able to either translate it into a kill or translate it to Gatorada, who's nowhere near being able to deny this. That has been confirmed. This retake is going to be awkward, to say the very least. All the players from Guts immediately invert. Gatorada trying to run off the intel of the pulse. And APAC now 1 versus 2 is given a little bit of audio cue just on the other side. They need to be extremely cautious. They don't give APAC away back into this. He knows how close he is. Pulls out the secondary. Tries to vault through the window. And Yura says, no, no, no. Guts. They've made the scoreline even 5 apiece.
It's been a gutsy effort from Guts. I'm so sorry for saying that. But they've brought back 4 rounds in a row. It has been such a great comeback from them. And speaking of comebacks, just a micro comeback in that round. Cyclops opened that up beautifully. They had the man advantage way up until the last 30 seconds. But full credit to JJ. The man ended the round on a quad. He also just got that opening in through kitchen, using the Nook beautifully. The silent stepping, or the quieter stepping, it just caught them completely off guard, hit his shots. It was just a fantastic little breakthrough to turn the tide of that round. And this is in a very dangerous position for Cyclops.
Yeah, I said shaking their boots. They would be extremely concerned right now. Chalet still remains a completely unknown map for us with Cyclops in terms of how they're going to be treating it after their loss with Kira. And it always scares me when a new map comes into the competitive map pool like that, because Chalet can be so volatile for, I would say, the underdogs for sure. There is a real sense that map can cause some unbelievable upsets. And Cyclops are staring down the barrel at losing map point. This will be 5 rounds in a row if Guts are able to convert this. It would just be absolutely massive, a huge achievement for this roster who, for lack of a better explanation, have always been second best to Cyclops and other teams in Japan too.
Yeah, absolutely. And as our beautiful analysts on the desk were pointing out before the game, you know, they do have some pretty experienced players. JJ has spent a lot of time on and off the Norengo roster, in fact, but he was there during their real time to shine a few years ago. On top of the fact that Crazy Papillon's also had a lot of experience at the high level in Japan, it's an experienced roster that has always just been trying to break out and be that spotlight of Japan. Cyclops has been in their way. This is just such a great opportunity to break ahead of that.
Couldn't ask for a better opportunity at that. Slowly but surely, really like the use of the breaching round there to just deal with the mute jammer on the other side of the wall. So now they've got an opportunity to go for that late round plant if they need to. Light, my goodness, I'd love to know the entry stats right now. 7-1. This man has been popping off left, right, and center. My goodness, I thought that was Light. Lily steals away the glory, though.
Yeah, look, Light has certainly been writing some names in the Death Note. Those that have seen it will know exactly what I'm talking about, anime geeks out there. But at the end of the day, it is Cyclops totally on the ropes right now. It just feels like Guts have found this momentum and are just barreling towards a dub right here. Black Ray completely melted by JJ. Ayagator lines up a double to at least bring it back into some potentiality. But a whole minute for Guts to be able to bring this towards match point.
Oh god, and look at the drone economy, Raven. There's 10 drones still remaining. Only one that Crazy Papillon died with in the pocket. So that means that there's potential for 9 drones to be thrown at Cyclops' direction. Lily will go for the plant right now. What a hole from Suzu, my goodness. Rather Ayagator, sorry. But once more, Guts, Raven, 5 rounds straight. Are we about to see a clean sweep on their attacking side in the first map to deny Cyclops their map? What on earth?
Yeah, look, it's been pretty crazy. You can call it attacker side and all you want, but Guts have just had such an impressive attack half. I mean, so did Cyclops, but I feel like the spotlight has to come on the team coming back, right? You look at the scoreboard, you're down 5-1. You can tell yourself all you want, oh, it's right, guys are on attack, we're going to bring this back. Yeah, it's good, but it's still a demonstration of really good mental fortitude. And they've just been displaying some fantastic teamwork and gun skill and strategy. It's just been beautiful. And Cyclops have had no answers. They have tried to throw everything they can at them. Anaton, Gatorada trying to get aggressive and in the face. But Guts just have answers to everything right now.
And I mean, if you look back at Cyclops' defensive roles and operators, there's been so many rounds they've gone for that intel denial, and Guts have dealt with it so quickly and so swiftly that they've left themselves with that minute to execute. And you know, this is a huge shining light on a roster that right now is really looking at Cyclops saying, hey, this is game on right now. You know, Anaton back on the clash on this penthouse site. It's obviously something that they like to stick here. And we spoke about that awkward mirror position at the end of 90 that faces into the penthouse. So, you know, this is very clearly something that Cyclops like to lean on when they need that strat that may just cause some interruption. But once more, Guts were able to deal with this so nicely.
They did do a good job last time, but it got a little close. Light did get that fantastic 1v2 clutch after that penthouse plant in the last second, literally last second. So I'd say that's what Cyclops have thought to themselves is, look, this was our best opportunity in the past. We got our closest chance here. They only need to win this, and they get to go to overtime. They can reset completely, then scores will be equal. But look, Guts have just been able to read into Cyclops so well. It's going to be a tough round. I just feel like, I just can't help but feel this is probably going to be a Guts 7-5, Manic.
Man, Speak of the devil, and he shall appear. A flawless second half would just be absolutely mental for Guts. Now, if we do need to go to overtime, it will be Cyclops starting on that elusive attack half, so be a big one to begin with, that's for sure. Papillon trying to get in position to deny Anitan that cheeky little, I would just say tickle. The frustrating play, Anitan, my goodness, nearly plays into it. This just does not look like the Cyclops we saw in the first half. Big.
Yeah, look, it's a good opening pick. JJ has been very strong for Guts, but Gatorada has been the trade. Crazy Papillon with a great peek from the penthouse window, and Anitan has been taken low. We pointed it out before. This could be really dangerous for him. So this is a good spot for Guts to be in. They've got around a minute, equal man count, but they haven't made a massive amount of progress. They still need to claim this VIP map control or music.
Bomb located by attackers.
Very tense right now. I mean, Guts are literally on the verge of winning this, Raven, but it doesn't feel like they've done enough this time. Oh, hang on a second. Oh! Oh, Raven, that's absolutely massive from Light. We talked about him little less than 2 rounds ago. Just on the backside, can Light find another? It's a 3 versus 2, sorry. Black Ray with the C4. Is the timing good? Not good enough. They need to try and push through. My word! How have Guts done this? A flawless second half. They take map 1. And now we head to Chalet, which could determine Cyclops' fate in the playoffs of the lower bracket. My goodness.
Seriously, take about Guts Gaming. That was an incredible second half. They were just so far behind. A 5-1 first half to Cyclops. And to just get a perfect 6 rounds in a row. Attacker side or not, I don't care. That was just a beautiful display from Guts Gaming. They are looking fantastic for the Japanese region right now, Manic.
That is really scary. I mean, what kind of team is able to bring back a